It's possible to make the women you actually want approach you. And to illustrate that fact, let me tell you a story that happened to me literally a few days ago in the gym. So fellas, let me actually get the whiteboard out. Let me draw this so I can explain. So the gym I go to, right? It's full of 8s, 9s, and 10s, right? It's notorious for being full of these type of women. Okay, so we've established that fact. The second thing is, fellas, there's this girl, right? If my pen will draw, who on the official force-up scale is a certified 9.5 out of 10. So she's bad. Right? She is bad. Even I thought she was like decent. Okay, so I've noticed her a few times before. And what I always observe, because obviously like I'm mental and like I'm in this space, I always observe loads of different low-ranking men going up to her, doing favors for her, giving her all this free attention. Right? And the reason I've never gone up to her, even though she sent me choosing signals before, is because I knew it would inflate her already humongous ego. So I knew if I wanted to date or sleep with this girl, obviously I did end up turning her down, which I'll tell you in the later parts of the story. If I wanted any chance of doing that, I knew if I started a conversation with her, I knew instantly I'd be put into this category. Right? So what did I do? I patiently waited. I waited. Right? And it's not like I was sitting there like focusing on her or thinking about all this bullshit. No. I waited because I knew all the stuff in fact, the concept I'm going to walk you through in this video, fellas, I was using it, and I knew because I was using that concept, it was literally just a matter of time. It was an inevitability before she came up to me, and she did. Right, so I'm going to finish the story in a minute, but how do I do this? Well, fellas, the concept in this video, I'm not going to talk about body language. I'm not going to talk about vocal tonality. I'm not going to talk about any of that bullshit today. What I'm going to talk about is something I call masculine swagger. And you're like, Force, what the fuck does this mean? Stay with me. I'm going to explain it. But if you understand this one concept, masculine swagger, it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, ugly, whatever you are, muscular, skinny, it doesn't matter what you are. If you use masculine swagger, if you understand this concept, this is where you're going to have the girls that you actually want, fellas. They're going to come up to you. They're going to approach you. Or at the very least, they're going to start conversations with you. Right? They're going to do some bullshit things to get your attention, even if you're not these things. So let me finish the story, right? So this happened a few days ago in the gym, right? So I'm doing EZ bar bicep curls. Okay, great. There's me, big old force-ups, right? 6'4", boom, 100 kilos, boom, 8% body fat. Okay, yeah, we get that. Great. You didn't need to know that, but I had to tell you. We know that. Okay, so I'm doing EZ bar bicep curls, whatever. There's this weight plate, this 15 kg weight plate about 15 meters away from me, right? 10 to 15 meters away. So I'm doing my set. I put the barbell down, and then she comes over to me and says, "Excuse me, are you using that 15?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." I get on with my set. I'm on my rest, right? After that, she guess what she then says to me? She's like, "Oh, you're doing the exercise wrong." I'm like, "Am I?" Right, in a sarcastic sort of way. I don't say anything. And then she starts mentioning about how the gym's so messy and no one puts their stuff away, just trying to make conversation. Right? So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I agree with you, whatever." Right, I'm about to do my set, so I go to pick up the EZ bar. Then she comes up to me and says, "I'm so sorry, but could you come and lift this up for me? I can't lift it up because of my nails." Then she starts talking about her nails and showing her nails off to me and shit. Right? Fellas, she's, like I said, fellas, she's a 9.5 out of 10. Like, this is the top, like, 0.1% of women. Like, you're talking like 1 in 1,000. Right? She's come up to me because I use this thing called masculine swagger. And if you employ it, the same thing is going to happen to you, right? So now let me get into the video. Right? So you know what this will do if you do it. But let me explain this. Right? So, fellas, what is masculine swagger? Before I tell you what that shit is, what you have to understand is, fellas, the number one most attractive trait in men, it's not your looks, it's not your height, it's not how many muscles you have, it's not any of that bullshit, although that stuff does help. Right, I'm never going to bullshit you. That stuff does help. There's a reason why I go to the gym 6 times a week. The most important trait is confidence. But this is where most like people who give advice on the internet, this is where they stop. They say you need confidence. Well, let me actually go one step further. Well, what does the science say? What can we infer from the science and research? And also, what can we infer from the data I have of what women find attractive? But what can we infer from this? Because it's not just confidence, it's a very specific thing. And this is where we get to what I call masculine swagger. Okay? There is nothing more important than this, than masculine swagger. Now, what is it? And what does it do? Well, fellas, when you have this thing called masculine swagger, the power it gives you, right? It makes women aroused just by being in your presence. Like I'm going to tell you another story later about this girl I'm currently dating who's an Instagram model, right? And what happened when I used masculine swagger in her presence. But I'm not just saying this, fellas. I'm not saying, oh yeah, she'll feel attracted to you. No. She will physically, right, physiologically become aroused. And for any of you motherfuckers who aren't virgins, you know what is physically happening in her body. Yes, that really will happen when you do this. Now, let's actually talk about masculine swagger, fellas. Now that you know how powerful this bullshit is. Okay? Basically, fellas, you're going to be bordering on arrogance. Bordering. Not with other people, just with women. You're going to have so much confidence. But you can't just have arrogance because then you're going to be this loud, annoying kid. So that's the swagger side of it. The swagger side of it is the arrogance and the confidence. But the masculine side of it, fellas, is you're that cool, calm, collected presence. Right? You're these things. So when you combine the arrogance, when you combine these things, so all of this stuff here, that is when you get the masculine swagger. And this is what's going to make a woman go crazy. Now, the important thing is, fellas, you're not just trying to act cool, you actually are cool, calm, and collected, right? This is natural. The key thing is you cannot try to have masculine swagger. You can't like fake this shit. It just is who you are. Because if you try and fake it, they will pick up on it. They know when women are exceptional at detecting fakers. They are so good at it. Way better than men. If you feel like hot shit, women will treat you like hot shit. It's a very simple question, right? When you have masculine swagger, fellas, they pick this up. I've always said to the people who pay me, right? They can smell it. It's like their sixth sense. When they're around a man who has this, they can smell it. That's the important thing, fellas. And what you have to understand is all of this is literally just mindset, right? The important thing about that is you can literally wake up tomorrow and have this mindset. You don't need to go to the gym for 6 years. You don't need to get down to 8% body fat. You don't need to bench press 180 kilos or 400 pounds for you Americans, which is, by the way, what you should be doing right, long term. That's the goal. That's a separate point. You don't need to do that. You can change your mindset overnight. Right? And fellas, this is why masculine swagger, if I can find it, is why short, ugly, skinny guys get results and you don't. Or men you perceive as less quote unquote attractive than you. That's why they get results and you don't. Because they'll have this confidence, they'll have this swagger that you don't. Okay? Fellas, if you actually, I've got way more to talk about. But if you actually want the like step-by-step advanced mindset tactics that I have, right? You can go down in the link in the description. You can watch the video. You can opt in to that page, and when you opt in and submit your information on that page, it's going to take you to a different page, which will basically have a video on it that will explain my scientifically proven dating system. So if you want to learn about that, if you want all this shit, all the stuff that's taken me years to learn, you can go and watch that video and buy it. If you don't, it's up to you. Right, next point. Because, and fellas, when you have this masculine swagger, right? This is when you're going to feel like hot shit, when you have this masculine swagger, right? And I'm going to feel like that because, and the way, if you actually want to get masculine swagger, like what do you actually do? Well, you have to believe this one thing. You have to believe that you are the best option, right? Not just the best option, but by orders of magnitude. Now, any of you science nerds on here like me will know what an order of magnitude is. An order of magnitude, fellas, I'm not going to go too deep in this, but an order of magnitude is a 10x difference. That's a single order of magnitude. But notice I didn't say order, I said orders, meaning multiple 10x's, right? So I'm talking about 100,000 times better than any other man, 10,000 times, 1,000 times, not just 10 times. That's the mindset you've got to have, right? When you feel like this, fellas, like I said earlier, women can smell it. They smell it. I'm telling you, fellas, they have a sixth sense for this bullshit, right? I do have science to back this up. Basically, I will give you the brief rundown, but women evolutionarily evolved mechanisms to detect like rank and status of men. Subtle body language cues, subtle changes in vocal tonality, subtle things. They can detect this bullshit. They are exceptional at it. Why? Because remember, women do the choosing, fellas, because they have access to, without a woman, you cannot reproduce. So if we go all the way back millions of years, women evolved these senses to find out who was actually the highest ranking man. Why? So they could get the best genes. They could get the best genetics, right? They would have a provider, right? Anyway, science lesson over. But now you get the point. And that's why women can smell it. But also, if I don't even look at the science, fellas, just from my personal experience, since I started feeling like hot shit, since I started having masculine swagger, my results just went off the page overnight. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right? And it's something you can develop overnight. Right. Let me give you another story. So, this other girl I'm dating, or my main girl, you should say. Right. I told you she's an Instagram model. You motherfuckers know this. Right. She's bad. Bad. Anyway, do you know how we met? She approached me. I didn't approach her. I didn't start the conversation. I didn't even fucking notice her. Now, I asked her, I'm not going to say her name. Why did you approach me? And the reason you generally shouldn't ask questions like that. But fellas, I take one for the team. I make a sacrifice. I lower her interest by 0.0001%, just so I can get the internal insights, so I can share them with you, so you don't have to do it. Again, that's Forsop's being such a kind, caring, selfless man, right? Anyway, I asked her why, because like I said, fellas, I want to share this stuff with you so you can learn and you don't have to do all the bullshit I have to do. And she said, fellas, she obviously didn't say, yeah, Force, it was your masculine swagger. They don't know what the fuck that is, right? She just said it was your confidence. Sorry, Michael. She said, yeah, she said it was your confidence. That's why she said she was just so attracted to my confidence. So I'll actually tell you what she said to me, right? So I was at the bar, I was ordering drinks for some other girls also. But that's a separate story, right? And I ordered the drinks, and then she was like, you have an accent. I was like, yeah, so do you. Right? You can't give responses like that on the fly. Like these fucking witty, charming, perfect responses, like bordering on arrogance. You can't give those responses unless you actually have rock solid confidence. Like that was a perfect textbook response. She said to me, you have an accent. I said, yes, so do you. Boom. Right? Textbook response. You can't give them, fellas, unless you actually genuinely have the rock solid confidence. You can't give them on the fly. You just can't do it. But when you do have this rock solid confidence, like I said, fellas, women now have this sixth sense that they're going to pick up on that. Right? They will hunt you out. Why? Because when a man has masculine swagger, when a man has this level of arrogance and masculinity, you're so different to everyone else. And fellas, I hinted at this earlier, but it literally makes them aroused just being in your presence. I'm not joking. I'm not just saying, like I said earlier, I'm not just saying like, oh, she feels like, oh, she's really attracted to you. No. I'm talking about physiologically aroused. So I'm talking about there is certain chemical reactions and bodily. Right, I'm gonna stop before I get banned on YouTube again. But you get the point, right? Any of you motherfuckers who have had sex before, you get what I'm saying, right? You make them this way when you have this. It just makes them aroused. So to end this video, when you have masculine swagger, that's how you get what the kids call aura, energy, presence. That's how you get all these bullshit terms. And when you have this, that is when women will give you signals, at the very least, or in certain circumstances, they will approach you. They will start a conversation with you in certain circumstances. But again, fellas, 90% of women are just going to give you signals, unless you're in somewhere where they've intaken alcohol. Then you will get approached a tremendous amount. But 90% of the time, when alcohol isn't involved, you're just going to get massive amounts of signals. Like I said, that like even for me, like there's those 10% scenarios, like that 9.5 out of 10 who approached me in the gym when she was completely sober, where she plucked up the courage to do it, whatever. Right? But 90% of the time, you're going to get signals. But if there's alcohol involved, you are going to get approached a lot. If you have this, if you have masculine swagger, right? Anyway, fellas, this was like a mindset video. Like this change. I'm not telling you like how to use eye contact or how to speak or anything, any bullshit. No. This is all just mindset. If you want, like I said earlier, if you want the advanced mindset tactics, if you want the actual A to Z, start to finish, complete mindset, complete beliefs, complete all of this bullshit that I have. If you want all of that, and I'm teaching you how to use it, how to put it into your subconscious, all of that bullshit, click the link in the description and then fill in your information, fellas, and then watch the video on the page. And that video is going to basically give you a full A to Z walkthrough of my scientifically proven attraction system. So if you want to do that, you can watch the video and you can buy. If you don't, I don't give a fuck. It's up to you. Anyway, fellas, by the way, one final thing. I read all of the comments, or probably 90% plus of them. I just don't have time to respond. So if you motherfuckers have any topics you want me to cover, or any videos or any questions you have, or any feedback that I can make the videos better for you, please let me know, because I make these videos just to help you out. Like I want you guys to win. I don't want you guys to have to go through all the bullshit and time and failure and heartbreak that I did. So if there's anything I can help you with, or if there's anything I can make a video about that you're struggling with, let me know and I'll do my best to make it. Obviously, I do run other businesses, so I don't have much time to do this bullshit. But I will put it on my list and I will try to make it. So fellas, I will see you in the next video.